Okay, I think we should get started. My name is Paul Lambert. I'm the director of the McCardle Lab for Cancer Research. I want to welcome you to this symposium honoring the 50th anniversary of Dr. Howard Temin receiving the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine. He received that prize 50 years ago for his discovery of reverse transcriptase and proving that the flow of genetic information between DNA and RNA is bidirectional. That discovery cemented his long-held hypothesis that certain RNA viruses replicate through a DNA intermediate. And that is what challenged the central dogma at the time of genetics, that the flow of information from DNA to RNA was unidirectional. So through the discovery of the reverse transcriptase, we had to rewrite the central dogma of genetics. Dr. Temin was more than just an excellent researcher who followed the data that he obtained. He was also a great mentor. Some of his many mentees are here today to share their thoughts about their journey with Howard and their very successful careers since they finished training with Howard. In addition, Dr. Temin helped McCardle Laboratory for Cancer Research become one of the leading centers for tumor virology in the world. And not only bringing in many outstanding other faculty to McCardle, but also initiating a program project grant at the NCI, which is now near 47 in funding. So that's a credit to Dr. Temin. Dr. Temin also played important roles at the national level as a member of the Academy in Sciences and importantly as a member of the National Cancer Institute Advisory Board, where they would decide what grants would get funded. And I can remember as an assistant professor walking into his office and he'd be surrounded by these boxes full of printed grants that he was reading in preparation for the advisory committee. He was really committed to what he did. Everything he did, he was committed. Let's see if I can. Okay. I want to thank the McCardle as well as the John and Jean Rowe Center for Virology and the Morgridge Institute of Research here in this building, Discovery Building, and the School of Medicine and Public Health for their sponsoring this symposium. I also want to thank the members of the organizing committee for this symposium shown here at the top for their outstanding efforts in putting together this symposium. I especially want to give thanks to the organizing committee chair, Paul Ahlquist, for his amazing efforts in this regard. This wouldn't happen today without everything that he and his colleagues put into this. I also want to thank Amy Freitag, Art Taggart, Chris Martinelli, and others who were behind the scenes making this possible. The symposium includes two keynote speakers, Emeritus Professor of Genetics and wife of Dr. Temin, Dr. Rayla Temin, as well as Dr. John Coffin, professor at Tufts University School of Medicine, who is an alum of Dr. Temin's lab. In addition, we're going to have other former trainees from Dr. Temin's lab who have joined us here today share their scientific paths. There will be a poster session after lunch. I encourage you all to attend that. And then mid-afternoon, there will be the unveiling of a sculpture behind the black curtains that was created by the sculptor Dr. Brian Wilm, himself a cancer researcher at the University of Utah, who is here to help us unveil the sculpture. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a structure of reverse transcriptase, crystal structure, reproduced in medal accurately. He made sure I would make sure to say that accurately. Uh, Now it's please enjoy the symposium today. Now I'd like to introduce our new dean of the School of Medicine and Public Health, Dr. Anita Ayuja, herself a cancer researcher coming from Yale. She joined us this summer, and she would like to make some opening remarks. So, Dean Ayuja.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to be here and see you all on this amazing anniversary of the seminal contributions of Dr. Temin, and I'm glad to be here. As Dr. Lambert mentioned, I'm just going to be within the next 5 days, 4 months here. And in the time I've been here, I've been able to see all the amazing things that make this place such a center for discovery and innovation. So I'm delighted to welcome all of you to this symposium that commemorates, of course, the paradigm-shattering discovery of reverse transcriptase by Dr. Howard Temin. As a Nobel laureate, Dr. Temin was one of our most illustrious faculty members in the School of Medicine and Public Health and in the McArdle Laboratory of Cancer Research. Dr. Temin's work is part of the bedrock of our history of discovery and a strong foundation we continue to build on today. Now, as we well know, the discovery of reverse transcriptase was not just an abstract conceptual advancement, but has been enormously important for biomedical research and the practice of medicine that we do today. Seemingly overnight, it became a critical reagent used throughout research. It transformed science, enabling us to analyze, clone, manipulate, and express every form of RNA. It provided a powerful new means of gene transfer and has been indispensable to many of our foundational advances in biology and health, transforming the lives of millions of people around the world. This is what makes the Wisconsin idea in action. This is what makes us, us. And this is what drew me here. Now, as Paul mentioned, I'm a surgeon scientist. I study epigenetics and cancer. Of course, my lab continues to use the themes that Dr. Temin provided, but I was also intrigued to read that his initial research was on Rous sarcoma virus. And my clinical area in the last decade has been mostly focused on sarcomas, and RSV is really foundational in thinking about sarcomas and how they form and how they metastasize. So interesting how you start to see the trajectory of science and clinical medicine and how we take research from the bench to the bedside. Now, the kind of laboratory research that led to Dr. Temin's discovery is critical, of course, for both science and society today. And I think especially today, over the last few months, as we've seen the seismic changes that are affecting our society, that are affecting federal funding, it is important and it's critical that I, as the leader for the School of Medicine and Public Health, continue to champion that kind of work, that idea of scientific curiosity, innovation, and nurture the next generation of the Temins who will come from this place. It is vital, it's valued, and one that I want to make sure that all of our faculty and our postdocs and our students continue to understand. Now, what's fascinating is beyond his scientific prowess, which I know you'll watch some of the posters and read about if you didn't know all of them. Some of you knew him personally. Many of you may be learning more about him. I also was really amazed to hear his other hallmarks of what makes an amazing faculty member. He was a dedicated teacher. This is what makes faculty, to teach, docere. He taught animal virology here for 3 decades. He was a mentor to countless students and colleagues. I understand many of you are here today. I hope to meet you all. And I would say that he did not shy away from how his findings and expertise could improve public health beyond the lab. That resonate with somebody as people around what's happening today? Understanding how science, medicine, and public health are interconnected. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, we had a leadership symposium by our chancellor, and Ken Scheinfeld talked about the disconnect with higher ed. But what he struck with us is that if you talk about research universities, the public connects with us. If you talk about how this connects to their own well-being and health, the public connects with us. And as being part of School of Medicine and Public Health, that is a story we can continue to tell today. And he did that. He was a vigorous voice, from what I was just reading, in following the science on the harms of smoking, which at that time in the era he was, that was brave. And he became involved in ensuring sound national policies decision for research on AIDS, which in those times for the young people in the room, it was an era of things you didn't talk about. He routinely spoke to professional societies, state and federal governments, and even Congress. Now, what can we learn from Dr. Temin? What can we take from his passion, and how do we take that into our future? I think one of the cardinal concepts that I take is his curiosity, his ability to challenge the dogma, to push the boundaries of what we know. His radical, at that time, data-driven conclusion that RNA was sometimes copied into DNA contradicted the then universally held dogma that genetic information only flows unidirectionally, and as you can imagine, was met with intense resistance and criticism. Yet, his curiosity, his desire for moving the field forward drove him forward, carried by his characteristic scientific rigor and creativity, even when it meant going against his tide. I kind of think of as the Badger ideas: curiosity, dogged determination, we don't give up, we strive for excellence, really some profoundly Wisconsin-Madison ideas. And I've seen in the past few months that the atmosphere of discovery is alive and well here today. I've been here for a number of symposiums and have watched multiple groups come together, and I see the qualities that Dr. Temin displayed alive and well here today. And I hope that we continue to provide that environment that fosters the next generation of paradigm-shifting discoveries, the next generation of future Dr. Temins who are perhaps in this room, perhaps they are your mentees, perhaps they're your collaborators, but we need to forcefully connect on that. And so today, we're extremely fortunate to be joined by many former members of Dr. Temin's lab, as well as his wife, Professor Emerita Rayla Grainbrook Temin. I just met Professor Temin just now, and thank you for each for sharing your perspectives and insights about this discovery. Thank you as well to the incredible leadership of Dr. Paul Lambert, Director of our McCardle Laboratory for Cancer Research and Chair of Oncology, and Dr. Alquist, who was, oh, here he is, right in front of me, for organizing this symposium, and the rest of the committee members who make today possible. I know that today you will spend the day reflecting on Dr. Temin's example, and of course listening about the foundational discoveries and applications that are happening today from many of his mentees. Thank you, and on Wisconsin.